Hello, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I'm Linnea Nelson, serving our worship team here at 1U. And with me in today's service are our worship leader, Reverend Margalie Belizaire, our Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration, Judith Stein-Farrall, our Director of Music, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario, and also from the Strategic Planning Committee, Kathy Homblette, Joan Nelson, and from the board, Ted Nelson. Now, our children will be free to go to free play when we sing them out after our time for all ages, and the nursery is open till noon. We welcome all of us to join together as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to this community. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. Regardless of your color, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background, we welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. And now I'd like to invite Patty Reynolds and then Judith Stein-Farrall for special announcements this morning.
Hello, everyone. About 10 years ago, maybe earlier, I made a good decision that has changed my life. I joined a covenant group, and I've been in a covenant group every year since then. Because I joined covenant groups, I made deep connections with people, emotionally intimate friendships, and had a lot of fun, just plain fun. And along the way, we talked about what is sometimes called a God-sized question, God being shorthand for the eternal questions of life and the universe. I love covenant groups, and it has changed my life. We meet once a month for 8 months. We start in October, and we complete in May. And Marty Haddad, could you stand up? And Cindy Schleier, and I don't see Bob. These are two people you can contact if you would like to sign up this morning in Gore Hall, or you could go online and find the link for signing up for covenant groups. The deadline is September 30th. I hope this works as well for you as it has for me. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I am your Director of Lifespan Religious Enrichment, and I'm here to let you know, in case you had not been looking at the RE update, which is available through the weekly update also, by the way, and at the blog, I believe, that religious education is starting on Sunday mornings at 9:30 in the morning for multi-age programming. There is, for adults this week and next week, we have 1U history with Ken, all about Eleanor Gordon. Our kids are going to be signing in and starting class at 9:30, and then we'll be coming into the sanctuary, and then we'll be sung out to free play, supervised free play. Starting at the end of this month, on the last Wednesday of the month, we have Welcoming Wednesdays starting with Vespers and Drumming Circle. And if you want a calendar of all the RE offerings and all the things going on, that includes a reminder about covenant groups and Tai Chi and meditation and all the other great things, Mystic Grove things, come to the table in Gore Hall, and there will be opportunity to find out more about that. Or write me, or corner me. There you are, tag.
Thank you. Thank you, Judith and Patty. The Conversation Corner in Gore Hall will also be a very busy place this Sunday as we welcome Reverend Margalie, as well as our guests from 10,000 Villages, Pamela, and please join us whether you are new to 1U or a regular. And all other announcements are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update on our website. If you'd like to follow along in the service, please use the QR code shown on the monitor and on the first few slides. Thank you again for being here in person or online.
Good morning. Please say the words that you see here with me as Joan lights the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share.
Good morning. As always, it is so good to be here with you this morning. And we will be exploring the meaning and the importance of community this morning. And as I share these words with you, these words that will serve as our call to worship, I would like you to keep front of mind community. And just as you listen to it and just see how that works for you. And you can think of our community here, our religious community here, or some other community that is meaningful to you. And these are the words of Susan Ensweller. Imagine yourself on a wide, flowing river in a small boat. You are only a little speck of being in a wide expanse of water bordered by rocky cliffs, towering trees and bright blue skies. Ahead of you are boulders and whitewater rapids, but also calm pools and sandbars for picnics. Around you are other little specks of being, each one a person isolated in their own small boat, just like you. But together, all of you form a flotilla and you will journey down the river together, guiding each other around the boulders, rescuing each other out of the white water, enjoying the calm in the still pools and picnic on the sandbars. May your journey through life be the same, surrounded by friends and loved ones who will sustain you through hard times and rejoice with you in good times until you reach shore. Be blessed. And come, let us worship together.
Good morning again. I'm Kathy Homblette. Well, a strategic plan. That's the answer. I was excited to hear that the 1U Board of Trustees was committed to beginning a strategic planning process with the congregation, and a solid strategic plan will provide answers. Eventually. Right now, however, it's the questions that are most important. Who are we as a congregation, and where are we going in the next 5 years? These are the essential questions addressed in this collaborative effort of the entire congregation. Specific details are unknown at this time, but the plan should provide a roadmap, blending congregational values with priorities and strategies. But so many questions. Why are we here? And what can we offer to the community? What are the strengths we can build on? What are unfilled or new opportunities we might create? Why now? Yet another question. Renovations and updates on the 1U campus were the focus of congregational imagination, energies, and financial support for most of the past 7 years. That work has been accomplished, and we can be proud of our current facilities. So now's the time to wonder, how can we invite more people to use this beautiful downtown campus? How can we be of value to our community here in Orlando, here in Central Florida, especially in these difficult times? More questions. What do we need to do to make those dreams, that vision possible? And how can we engage the entire congregation in that process? Exciting questions, really, with answers yet to be discovered. We'll hear from Joan and me standing in for Gregg, COVID Plan C, for more details. Please rise and body your spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 361. Don't be afraid of some change. The words will be projected on the screen.
So let's take a moment and turn to your neighbors and greet one another. Let's all have a seat. And I'm going to invite some helpers, pre-planned helpers up to the front this morning as I tell a story about the difference between heaven, because we all believe in heaven, and hell. So, I've got 3 helpers here, and I'm going to invite either Reverend Margalie or Linnea to join us as a person who'd like to know the difference. Okay. All right. All right. Maybe if you want, and do you want to help? Okay, there you go. All right. Reverend Margalie, you're going to be the person who's going to ask all the questions, okay? What? Do you want to help? Do you want to? Okay, I'll be the person who asks all the questions. There we go. All right. Everybody look this way first. Look out to the audience first, all right? Long ago, there lived a woman who had a wish to know the difference between heaven and hell. I want to know the difference between heaven and hell. So I went to my local clergy who happened to be Buddhist monks, and I said, folks, can you help me find out the difference between heaven and hell? And they said, they thought about it, and they said, sure, we can do that. And so they blindfolded me, turned me around a few times, and said, open your eyes. And I walked into this room, and there were all these people there with spoons attached to the ends of their hands like this, and plates of delicious food, lots of great smells and soups and savories and awesome things. And they were trying with these long spoons that they couldn't remove from their hands, trying to feed themselves. Well, it was clear, there we go, that this was why it was hell, right? This was hell. They couldn't feed themselves. They were frustrated, they were angry, and they were hangry, and they didn't have a way of feeding their needs. So I said, please take me away from this and show me heaven. So the monks blindfolded me, turned me around a few times, and then everybody faced one another. Oh, face you? No, face each other. And I opened my eyes to find basically the same room with all the great foods and people with these long spoons. But what were they doing? They were feeding each other. They were laughing, and they were happy, and they were helping each other take care of one another. And soon I was happy too, for I understood the difference between heaven and hell. And the people in heaven were happy. They worked together to get what they needed, and they paid attention to one another and took turns. Thank you, players. Thank you very much. And now we are going to sing our children out under the bridge of warmth and protection as we sing This Little Light of Mine, and our kids will join me in the labyrinth and then in the enrichment center where you can pick them up after the service.
Ted Nelson, the current treasurer of the Board of Trustees. We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values, which sustains the life and ministries of this church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it's a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. For our Share the Plate for September, we're honored to have 10,000 Villages as our recipient. Although we usually have our guest on the first Sunday, our guest and full collection will go fully to 10,000 Villages today. Let's learn a bit more about 10,000 Villages from Pamela Kinshew, our local store director. Pamela?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today, hosting me and hosting 10,000 Villages. I do have to say this is a bit intimidating since so many of you have either been on our board, volunteered, been our board president, been our store founder. So we'll see how I do. Now, those of you who know me know that I can speak forever, so I'm sorry, but you're not gonna have a service today. So a little bit about us, and I will try to keep it short. So 10,000 Villages, purposeful, handmade goods for home and life. We have a really cool story. We are pioneers of the global fair trade movement. So 10,000 Villages, we create opportunities for artisans in developing countries to earn income by bringing their products and stories to our markets through long-term partnerships This helps to break the cycle of generational poverty and ignites social change. We currently have over a network of 45 stores, branded stores, over 300 other retailers who believe in our mission that will also sell the product for you, and a very vigorous e-commerce site. Our heritage, headquartered in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, we were founded by Edna Ruth Byler. More than 70 years ago, she was a missionary. She was on mission work, so much for the paper. She was on mission work in Puerto Rico, saw women doing beautiful embroideries, asked them how they were supporting their family. And they were like, well, so she bought a bunch from them at a fair price, took them home, sold them to her friends in Pennsylvania. What she did different from a lot of missionaries, she took that money she got from selling those, she went back, she bought more. She reinvested it in those fabulous women. And that started the cycle of fair trade. Such a cool thing, such an amazing woman. So our investment model, transparent price policy, interest-free microfinancing. Our artisans get 50% up front before they've even made a thing. We contract with them. We're like, this item's going to be amazing in America if you can make it for us. We give them their money. They make it, they call us, they're like, we're all done. We're like, here's your money. We ship it, we warehouse it, we sell it. The boat sinks on the way over, they still got their money. We make sure we take care of them, but we do it by such a way of giving them opportunities and giving them sustainable income and a sustainable future. Our average relationship with our artisans is over 20 years. We have seen that this works. I haven't personally yet, but we've seen that this works because we've watched their kids grow up. We've watched families send kids to be nurses, doctors, teachers. The company has seen schools be built, health care be given, food be given during the pandemic in India and other places. Right now, Nepal is facing some crisis with financial. They are counting on us as 10,000 Villages to keep ordering, So it's really kind of cool. So I'm gonna go completely off my sheets and I'm gonna talk from my heart. So usually I have my list of things I say and I have my sheets, but this time I decided to be a little bit different since so many of you guys know us, shop with us, support us in many ways. I've been with 10,000 Villages for 3 years now, and doing this, finding this position probably has changed my life in a lot of ways. I am so much more aware of what I am purchasing, where it is coming from, who it is benefiting. So through your generosity, the generosity of everybody coming into our stores, we're able to take that money and invest it back in to make a difference in people's lives. There's so much need out there right now, and I think that need continues to grow. And I think most people, they don't want to be handed it. They want to be given a reason to earn that money. So I'm very proud to say our little store here on Park Avenue, we are celebrating 17 years in business right now. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Jean, for being the driving force behind this location here. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. Our store, unfortunately, had hit a hiccup back in about 2019. In a lot of aspects, the pandemic, I look at it that it saved us. They were able to do some changes within the store, and then they did that 60-yard field goal punt. I love my Green Bay Packers, I'm sorry to say, and they scored. They got me. I don't take a lot of credit for the store these days, but I came on board with a dedication and a passion to see this store thrive and survive another, I'll probably be working another 25 years before I'm ever able to retire, so I would love to stay there if I can. We are thriving, we are surviving. The holiday is late and I'm so mad, but it's going to be fabulous. So come in. I mean, your support today means everything to me. Come back into the store, continue to support us. Make a difference in someone's lives. You know this item that came in, we have stories, we have pictures. You made a difference. And along with it, not only have you made a difference in lives around the world, it's made a difference in my life. And it's a pretty cool feeling. And I will continue and continue, but I won't. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from all of our volunteers at 10,000 Villages, to everyone who has helped in the store in the past. In the future, we're looking for board members, volunteers, a little plug on my part, but enjoy. And again, thank you for having me here today with you guys. Have a great day.
The offering will now be collected. Note that you can also give online using the link on the screen. Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. I'm Joan Nelson, a member of the Strategic Planning Task Force, and as Kathy mentioned, a board goal was to initiate a strategic planning process to serve our congregational community, our village, if you will. And I'm honored to have the chance to be one of those facilitating something that will be shaping the vision for our 1U community for the next 5 years. I'm going to spend a few minutes sharing with you the critical importance of your role in shaping this vision. This is a plan for the whole congregation. We're here to guide that process. So you can see a slide behind me and those at home on your screen. This graphic depicts the roles, the most important pieces that you're going to help us with this plan. At the very top in yellow, you'll see that we're starting with a congregational survey. Here's the good news. When you get home today, that survey will be in your inbox, thanks to our church administrator, Amy, who helps us set that up. So that's going out to all our members and friends, and we want to hear from you what 1U means to you. You'll also have the chance to help us identify our strengths, our opportunities, our core values. And the good news, the survey can be done very easily online. And after service, we'll be in Gore Hall with lots of information and paper copies if that suits you better. But we're hoping, planning, and counting on a 100% return rate. So don't let us down. It could be no easier than clicking on the link in your email. Next, you see in the pink on that slide that what represents the next step, and that's our collaborative workshops. We need you to attend one of these 3 workshops. They're coming in the middle of October through November. The dates are there on the survey, and they'll be posted in the weekly update. Also, I hope you've noticed that the strategic plan has a blog posting that goes up very frequently and lets you know all the steps that we're doing. So from this survey, we will identify key aspirations at the workshops. We're going to have you work in teams collaboratively to help us determine our mission, our values, and those specific areas that we need to focus on going forward. And then in early 2024, which I can't believe I'm saying that, but this year is going by, we're going to invite you to participate in themed work groups. You can see that represented on our graphic as well. That's where this information will be synthesized to help us. We need to focus and pick some certain areas, and that's where those teams will help to develop the strategies and the goals and the measures that will help shape this plan and help us as we move through it. Finally, Kathy is going to be reading Gregg's words about how all your work comes together. And hopefully we'll be able to present this plan to you and adopt it at the May annual congregational meeting. Through the process, we've always reminded you that the goals have been to be inclusive, transparent, and practical. And now we need all of you to make those goals come true.
This is the time we set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or helped with, or have a joy you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows to be read during the service. You can email us during the week at joysandconcerns@orlandouu.org. If you're attending in person, you can fill out a card at the welcome table outside. Don't have any this morning. And we also offer you to participate in our candle lighting ritual, where if it is something you didn't feel like sharing openly, you can silently light a candle for. So bring your joys in your sorrows as we come together as a community. Come just as you are. Your whole self is welcome here as we create sacred space together. From our community, Linnea asks for healing thoughts and prayers for her brother who had a bone marrow transplant this week. Mutt Neubauer welcomes thoughts, prayers, and positive energy for his partner, Len Graham, who just returned home from a hospital stay and is recovering. So let's send them those thoughts and prayers. Bev Alleg's right knee replacement surgery, had knee replacement surgery on Wednesday of last week, and it is reported that all went well. She will be at the Commons Rehab Facility Center for about 10 days. And lots of thanks to all of you for healing thoughts. And this is from Gregg. We want to wish Mike McCleskey in the back, who is helping out with tech, a happy birthday this week. And thank him for all he does for our 1U community. We also have, this is the second one from Luke Self. He mentions, I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, he mentioned that he was in ER because of a slip disc. He wanted to let us know that he's doing better, little to no pain, and still needs to see a specialist to figure out next steps to avoid the hurt, the pain in his back. So, and also wants to say thank you for all the support, and adds this is the best church ever. And he wanted us to know that his brother's wife, sister-in-law that is having a baby who they will name Logan. They just found out that this child has an enlarged heart and will need surgery when he is due in November. So he's also asking us to send thoughts, prayers, and good vibrations so that there are no complications and that the baby make it out alive and healthy. So if you would do that, I'm pretty sure that Luke and his family would very much appreciate those. And from the larger community, we continue to hold our Orlando community in love as Orlando and our state continues to need comfort and activism to eradicate hate. And we continue to hold our global community in love as continuing conflicts beset communities around the world, including in Libya, where more than 5,000 people are presumed dead and another 10,000 are missing after heavy rains caused 2 dams to collapse, sending water surging into already inundated areas. And also here in the States where the folks in New England are recovering from hurricane, I believe it was Lee. So for all the joys and sorrows of this community, those shared and those that were held close to the heart, let us pray for one another, let us celebrate, and let us send each other healing energy. And I invite us into a prayer for this church with the words of Nancy Schaefer. So if you would relax as much as you can, let your shoulders drop, close your eyes if that feels good for you, and listen to these words. May each one among us have skin that longs to touch other skin, fingers that long for other fingertips, or whole arms and even whole hands and even arms, bodies that want to stand next to other bodies and not alone, while singing and bending, stirring soup. May ones whose skins doesn't cry out for other skin wish it did, or so teach it so that no one stands alone and no one aches and does not say so. May our doors be open. It is drafty outside, and people sometimes shout because noise without comes also within. May those sheltered here sometimes cry all at once, letting tears water clean that words by themselves cannot. In silent time, may everyone present hear everyone else breathing and know this is not separate from how the world breathes all night. May we always have enough room for those many who want to come in. May those who cherish this church be so glad they cannot stop speaking, stop asking, and may that crowding itself be a gladness as we keep adding rooms. May we notice each one who is new and invite her to stay. May our list of names for the holy not ever be finished, and may we hear God chuckling with us as we find still more. And now, we invite you to come forward and participate in our candle lighting ritual. You can light a candle of remembrance, loving kindness, or hope, or for this community.
man of despair. Come, yet again come.
Remember the COVID plan, Part C. I am not Gregg Buckingham, but I am reading his words. And Gregg, speedy recovery. Good morning. My name is Gregg Buckingham. But it's not really. You got that part right. Close your eyes if it's confusing. All right. And I am the third member of the strategic planning team. I also serve as president-elect of the Board of Trustees. So in practice, as we create the strategic plan for this year, the next board will be responsible for implementing it. The Strategic Planning Task Force is facilitating a process to provide focus and alignment for 1U over the next 5 years. What can we expect when the plan is done? The overall goal for 1U's strategic plan is to provide focus for our energies and help inform and align the many activities that make 1U the vibrant community of communities that we are today. As we make budget decisions, we'll make those in concert with the strategic plan. When we consider taking on new projects, we'll align those projects with our plan. One of the benefits is we will all know where we are headed. We are a congregation that can do anything. We have talented and passionate members, and I am constantly amazed at the dedication of our members. There is a lot happening in society. Having a strategic plan, working together as a unified group is imperative now. And now, more than ever, the Unitarian Universalist voice is needed. Will we be perfect? Likely not. Things happen, like COVID, for example. Will the plan reflect each individual congregant's hopes and dreams? It's a congregational plan, so hopefully you'll see yourself in the plan, but perhaps not your exact wording. As long as we anchor our plan on the 3 original goals, to be transparent, inclusive, and practical, this is a plan that won't end up only being on the shelf, but instead will be a working document for all. Thank you, Gregg.
Much thanks and gratitude to our strategic planning team for taking on the arduous and rewarding task of guiding 1U through the process of planning for maybe the next 5 years. You've heard from all of them, and they've given you a taste of what this may look like. You have also been invited to fully participate in the planning of the future of this congregation. So it takes a community. And there seemed to be a profound truth embedded in the heart of Unitarian Universalism, and that is that it takes a community. Today, I'm inviting us to explore 2 areas of community as we strategically plan for our future and for those who will come after us. The need of the individuals, those are the 2 things. The needs of the individual and that of the community, and the need for members to participate actively in the community. In the story Judith shared with us, we witnessed 2 vastly different outcomes based on the willingness to cooperate and support one another, and how the individuals are unable to come together for a common good, and as a result, they starve, they suffer. This serves as a stark reminder of the importance of community and meeting our collective needs. In heaven, the inhabitants recognize that by offering their assistance to one another, they not only thrive individually, but they create an environment of abundance for all. The tale beautifully illustrates that when we work together, our collective strength magnifies the blessing we receive. It is an allegory that speaks volumes about what a community is, about cooperation, and about the nourishment that comes from working together. It implies that cooperation is the key to satisfaction and nourishment. So we can look at cooperation not just a practical necessity, but as a deeply spiritual concept. It reflects a commitment to building a world where love and compassion and support prevail. When individuals come together to support and care for one another, everyone benefits. They feed one another across the table, creating an environment of abundance. And as the story illustrates, there is the potential for transformative of collective action and the richness of a shared blessing. And I think one point that might be overlooked that this story illustrates is that somebody may have everything they need to meet their needs, and they could still fare poorly without the help and support of others. Because everything the people in hell needed to nourish themselves was there. But because they couldn't come together, they fared poorly. So let's talk about the needs of the individual and that of the group, the whole community. As you use, we recognize that we have individual needs that must be met, whether those needs are spiritual, pastoral, relational. And also, as human beings, we have the need to feel seen, to feel heard, supported, acknowledged, and respected. And many of us look for those things in a religious community. In the tapestry of our own faith community, here at 1U, we strive to honor and uphold the uniqueness of each individual. We aim to celebrate the diversity of beliefs, backgrounds, and identities that make our community rich and vibrant. Furthermore, we understand that the spiritual journey is deeply personal. Together, we create an environment where individuals can explore, question, and find solace in their own ways, a place where personal growth and self-discovery are nurtured. But at the same time, we also know that the true essence of a community lies in its commitment to the common good and looking out for the whole, that the true strength of a community lies in its ability to take care of the whole and honoring the autonomy of each person. But its goal must extend beyond the satisfaction of individual needs. I say this to remind us that just because something here is not your cup of tea doesn't mean that this place is any less your community. I also say it to remind each of us that there will surely be things in the strategic plan that we won't care for, or an input that we offered that we felt very passionate about, but we don't see it clearly reflected in the final product. That's going to happen. And when it does, I invite you to pause and reflect on a couple of questions, such as, is this plan, is it a good one, a good fit for this community? Or is it a plan that might help us grow spiritually and position us to best answer our call to a higher purpose, that is the promotion of justice and compassion in the world? Is it a plan that reflects our values and is welcoming to those seeking a religious home? So when you see that happens, take a moment and reflect on those questions, because we will be looking for the common good. We must find the delicate balance between individual agency, yes, and collective responsibility. Our lives are not isolated. We are instead intricately woven together into a beautiful tapestry. A thriving community is one where the well-being of the whole is held in high regard. As the African proverb notes, I am because you are. In other words, our individual well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of the entire community. Or, as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all. We need one another. We also need members of a community to participate fully in the community. Because for a community to thrive, it requires that participation. Each voice, each perspective is a vital thread in the fabric of communal life. The different voices and perspectives are part of that tapestry that make up our shared life together. Just as in heaven, where the inhabitants fed one another, we too must be willing to extend a helping hand, to listen deeply, and to contribute our unique gifts for the well-being of all. And we are blessed that there are diverse perspectives and experiences here at 1U. This enriches our community and contributes to our shared journey. Each person here, know that each of you here bring unique gifts and wisdom. And then when we put all of that together, there is power in that collective wisdom, gifts, experiences, and perspective. We benefit from them, and if we open ourselves to one another, so that collective wisdom, gifts, experience, and perspective, if we open ourselves to them, we can find guidance, inspiration, and growth. No one person has a monopoly on truth or wisdom. It is through sharing of our diverse viewpoints and the open exchange of ideas that we can arrive at a deeper understanding of the world and our place within it. It is the tapestry of our differences. It is in that we discover the strength of unity. So here, we must seek to create spaces where everyone is heard, where no one's perspective is dismissed, or where all are valued for their contributions. We must recognize that the wisdom of the youngest among us can be just as profound as that of the oldest, and the experiences of the newcomers can provide fresh perspectives that enrich our understanding. So accept the invitation of the strategic planning team and be a part of this process. And let us be a thriving community that actively seek out and embraces the input of its members, a community that encourages dialogue, values dissent, yes, that values dissent and respects differing viewpoints, one that views collective wisdom as a wellspring of inspiration and innovation. Your voice and engagement feed this community that in turn feeds you. Be an active participant in shaping our journey. And as we leave this gathering today, let us carry with us the understanding that we are not only a community of individual seekers, but a community of love and justice, striving to build a better world. And let us carry the wisdom of the allegory of heaven and hell with us. Let us remember that in our journey through life, we need one another, and that it takes a community to truly thrive and find fulfillment. May we be guided by the understanding that our strength lies in our unity, and our nourishment comes from the bonds of love and cooperation we share. Let's move forward, committed to being a community that feeds one another's souls, creating heaven right here on earth. May it be so. And I invite you to join me in singing hymn number 121, We'll Build a Land. The words will be projected on the screen. Go with faith, not the kind that is called to move mountains, but the quieter sort that calls us to take the first step. The MLK reference here, even when the whole staircase sits beyond our view. And as we move toward the unseen, may we notice that the way unfolds only as we risk traveling it. And may we remember and trust that on this journey, we are not alone. Reverend Scott Taylor. We have this call to action. Well, have a couple, but let's start with the immediate one. That is, our strategic planning task force is asking that you make sure to take the survey. They have a goal of 100% participation. Whoa. Participate, and they are also asking you to participate in a workshop and to continue the conversation. And I believe you will be in Gore Hall with hard copies of the survey. The other call to action is Judith and I have been having conversations about what has been going on in Florida for a while now, and actually Judith really got fired of actually following a meeting here. And so we had this conversation. It was a Sunday afternoon. It seems like it was just yesterday, but then we started talking, and so all that to say, we have been planning we have been working on organizing a peaceful protest entitled We Are on the Side of Love. We have recruited Nikki and Rachel from next door. Steph Garber is also working with us, as well as John Irwin. If you are, we are also reaching out to people like Anna Escamani and other folks who are out there speaking for, showing up for those who need us to show up for them. So it's in the planning phases, and we were hoping, actually, Judith and I were hoping next Saturday, but it just seems like we might have to push it some. But if you're interested in being part of the planning, we're hoping for sure you'll show up when it actually happens. But if you're interested in the planning, please reach out to me or Judith. The easiest email, if you want to spell my full name, Rev M. Belizaire @orlandouu.org, that's good. Or you can send it to minister@orlandouu. That's the easiest one, orlandouu.org. So please, let's show up for those who need us to show up, so that they know that Florida has not become the hate state and that there is love here. So, extinguish.
Please say these words with me as we extinguish this flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.